Emotional safety is one of the most powerful foundations of deep attraction for a mature woman. Many people assume attraction is created through excitement, mystery, or dramatic effort, but emotional safety works in a very different way. It creates a quiet sense of comfort that allows connection to grow naturally. When a woman feels emotionally safe with someone, she does not feel the need to guard every word or carefully monitor every reaction. She can express her thoughts honestly without worrying that they will be dismissed, criticized, or used against her later. Emotional safety means that disagreements can exist without turning into attacks and that conversations remain respectful even when opinions differ. A mature woman often values this stability because it reflects emotional intelligence and psychological maturity. Instead of being drawn to unpredictable behavior, she becomes more interested in the person who creates an environment where she can relax and be herself. Attraction begins to develop not from pressure or intensity, but from the consistent experience of being respected and understood. This sense of safety is built through everyday behavior rather than dramatic gestures. A person who communicates calmly, listens attentively, and responds with empathy sends powerful signals of emotional reliability. Mature women tend to notice these signals very quickly because life experience often sharpens emotional awareness. When someone reacts defensively to small disagreements or tries to dominate conversations, it can quietly erode attraction. On the other hand, when someone remains composed, thoughtful, and respectful even in challenging moments, it creates a strong psychological impression. Emotional safety also means that her feelings are taken seriously. She does not feel mocked, minimized, or rushed to get over something that matters to her. Instead, she senses that her experiences are acknowledged and respected. These small moments accumulate over time, gradually forming trust. As trust develops, emotional openness becomes easier, and that openness naturally deepens the sense of connection between two people. Another important part of emotional safety is predictability in emotional responses. Mature women often appreciate partners who are steady rather than unpredictable. When someone's reactions are consistently respectful and calm, it removes the uncertainty that can make relationships stressful. Emotional unpredictability can create tension because it forces a person to constantly anticipate sudden mood changes or criticism. Emotional safety, however, allows a relationship to feel stable and grounded. It means that communication does not feel like a risk. A mature woman can share her thoughts, concerns, or personal experiences knowing that the response will likely be thoughtful rather than dismissive. This stability allows attraction to deepen gradually. Instead of relying on excitement alone, the connection becomes rooted in trust and mutual respect. Over time, emotional safety transforms a simple interaction into a meaningful relationship dynamic where both individuals feel valued and secure. Consistency in behavior plays a powerful role in how a mature woman develops emotional attraction. At a certain stage of emotional development, people begin to value patterns more than promises. Words can be persuasive, but behavior over time reveals a person's true character. A mature woman often observes how someone shows up repeatedly in everyday interactions. Does the person communicate with the same level of respect each time? Do their actions reflect the intentions they express? These patterns quietly shape how trust forms. Consistency is not about perfection. It is about reliability in attitude, tone, and emotional presence. When someone behaves kindly and respectfully one day but becomes distant or dismissive the next without explanation, it can create confusion. Emotional attraction tends to weaken in environments where unpredictability becomes normal. On the other hand, when someone maintains steady behavior across different situations, it signals emotional stability. This steadiness allows a mature woman to gradually feel more comfortable and open within the connection. Consistent behavior also creates a sense of emotional dependability. This does not mean being available at every moment or trying to solve every problem. Instead, it means showing up in ways that feel genuine and stable over time. For example, when someone regularly communicates with thoughtfulness, follows through on commitments, and maintains respectful dialogue even during disagreements, it strengthens emotional trust. Mature women often pay attention to these everyday signals because they reflect long-term character rather than temporary effort. Grand gestures can create excitement, but they do not replace the importance of consistent care. Small actions repeated over time carry greater psychological weight than occasional displays of attention. When someone consistently treats her with patience, attentiveness, and sincerity, it communicates that the connection is based on genuine respect rather than momentary enthusiasm. Another reason consistency deepens attraction is that it reduces emotional uncertainty. Uncertainty can create tension in relationships because it leaves people questioning intentions or stability. Mature women often prefer relationships where communication and behavior feel predictable in a positive way. This predictability does not mean routine or boredom. Instead, it means knowing that respect, honesty, and emotional consideration will remain present even when circumstances change. When someone's actions align with their words repeatedly, it demonstrates integrity. Over time, this alignment builds a sense of security that allows emotional closeness to grow naturally. Attraction begins to move beyond surface charm and becomes rooted in trust. Consistency reassures her that the connection is not dependent on mood, convenience, or temporary excitement. It shows that the person values the relationship enough to maintain steady effort and respectful behavior across different moments in life. Genuine listening is one of the most meaningful emotional experiences a mature woman can have in a relationship. Many conversations in everyday life involve people waiting for their turn to speak, rather than truly hearing what the other person is saying. Genuine listening is different because it involves patience, curiosity, and attention. When someone listens with the intention to understand rather than to respond quickly, it sends a powerful psychological message. It communicates that her thoughts and experiences matter. A mature woman often carries a wide range of life experiences, responsibilities, and perspectives. When those experiences are received with sincere interest, it creates a sense of respect and emotional recognition. This kind of listening allows conversations to feel safe and open rather than rushed or competitive. Attraction often begins to grow in these moments because she feels acknowledged as a complete person rather than someone whose words are being filtered or overlooked. Genuine listening transforms a simple conversation into a moment of connection where understanding becomes more important than control. This type of listening also requires emotional presence. Emotional presence means being mentally and emotionally engaged during the conversation instead of being distracted or disengaged. A mature woman can usually recognize the difference between someone who is simply being polite and someone who is truly attentive. Small signals such as maintaining eye contact, responding thoughtfully, and asking meaningful follow-up questions demonstrate that the conversation is valued. These signals may appear subtle, but they create a powerful emotional effect. They show that the listener is interested not only in the topic, but also in the person sharing it. When someone consistently listens with attention and empathy, it creates an atmosphere where deeper conversations naturally emerge. She begins to feel comfortable sharing ideas, memories, and perspectives that she might not reveal in more superficial interactions. This emotional openness strengthens the connection because it encourages authenticity on both sides of the relationship. Genuine listening also helps prevent misunderstandings and emotional distance. Many relationship conflicts develop when people feel ignored or misunderstood. When someone listens carefully before responding, it reduces the chance of reacting based on assumptions. Instead of interrupting or dismissing her perspective, a thoughtful listener reflects on what she has expressed and responds with consideration. This approach creates a feeling of emotional balance within the interaction. A mature woman often appreciates this quality because it reflects patience and emotional intelligence. Over time, repeated experiences of being heard and understood build a strong sense of trust. That trust allows attraction to deepen gradually. She recognizes that communication within the relationship is not about winning an argument or dominating a conversation. It becomes a process of mutual understanding where both individuals feel valued and respected. Respect for boundaries is one of the clearest signs of emotional maturity in any relationship. For a mature woman, boundaries are not walls meant to create distance. They are expressions of self-awareness, personal values, and emotional health. When someone respects those boundaries without resistance or pressure, it creates a strong sense of trust. Many people misunderstand boundaries and assume they limit connection, but in reality, they often protect it. When a woman feels confident that her time, opinions, and personal space will be respected, she does not have to remain guarded. She can interact freely without worrying that her limits will be challenged or dismissed. This feeling of security allows attraction to develop naturally because the relationship environment feels balanced and respectful. Mature women often appreciate individuals who recognize that mutual respect strengthens connection rather than restricting it. Instead of trying to push past limits, they value those who demonstrate patience and understanding. Respecting boundaries also means paying attention to subtle cues during conversations and interactions. Sometimes boundaries are clearly spoken, but other times they appear through tone, hesitation, or body language. A person who is emotionally aware notices these signals and adjusts their behavior accordingly. For example, when a woman expresses that she needs time to think about something or prefers to approach a situation slowly, respecting that request communicates emotional intelligence. It shows that the connection is not based on pressure or urgency. A mature woman often feels more comfortable with someone who allows the relationship to progress at a pace that feels natural. This patience demonstrates consideration for her perspective and experiences. It also reflects confidence because the person is not trying to control the situation or rush emotional closeness. Over time, these small acts of respect accumulate and create a foundation of mutual understanding. Another important aspect of respecting boundaries is recognizing individuality within the relationship. A mature woman often values her independence, personal interests, and responsibilities. When someone supports those aspects of her life rather than attempting to dominate them, it strengthens emotional attraction. Respect for boundaries shows that the relationship can exist without limiting personal identity. Instead of feeling confined, she feels supported in maintaining the different parts of her life that are meaningful to her. This kind of balance encourages deeper trust because it demonstrates that the connection is built on equality rather than control. When boundaries are consistently respected, communication becomes more open and comfortable. She knows that her voice will be heard and her limits will be honored. Over time, this respectful dynamic allows emotional closeness to grow in a healthy and sustainable way. Validation is a powerful emotional experience because it reassures a person that their feelings and perspectives are being recognized. For a mature woman, validation does not mean someone must agree with everything she says. Instead, it means her emotions are acknowledged as real and meaningful. When a person listens to her experiences and responds with empathy rather than dismissal, it creates a sense of emotional respect. Many conversations fail because people rush to correct, judge, or minimize what the other person is feeling. Validation takes a different approach. It allows someone to express their thoughts fully before the conversation moves towards solutions or opinions. When a mature woman feels that her perspective is being taken seriously, it strengthens emotional connection. She does not feel as though she must defend her feelings or justify why something matters to her. This sense of acceptance creates a calm environment where open communication becomes easier and more natural. Another important part of validation is emotional awareness. It requires the ability to recognize the emotional tone behind someone's words. When a mature woman shares an experience, she is often communicating more than just the facts of a situation. She may also be expressing frustration, pride, concern, or reflection. A person who responds with thoughtful acknowledgement demonstrates that they understand both the situation and the emotion connected to it. This might involve simple but meaningful responses that show empathy and understanding. These responses signal that her experiences are not being overlooked or treated as unimportant. Over time, this consistent recognition strengthens emotional trust. When someone feels that their emotional world is understood, they are more willing to share deeper thoughts and experiences. This openness allows the relationship to move beyond surface conversations and develop genuine emotional closeness. Validation also contributes to emotional balance within a relationship. When feelings are acknowledged rather than dismissed, disagreements become easier to manage. Instead of turning into arguments about who is right or wrong, conversations can focus on understanding different perspectives. A mature woman often values this type of interaction because it reflects emotional maturity and patience. She can express concerns or ideas without fearing that they will be ignored or criticized immediately. This respectful exchange encourages honesty and mutual understanding. Over time, repeated experiences of validation create a stable emotional foundation. Attraction grows because she recognizes that the relationship allows her to be genuine without feeling judged or silenced. When someone consistently demonstrates this level of empathy and attentiveness, It strengthens the emotional bond and encourages a deeper, more meaningful connection. Appreciation plays an important role in how emotional attraction develops for a mature woman. At a deeper level, appreciation is not simply about compliments. It is about recognizing the effort, character, and individuality that shape who she is. Mature women often carry many responsibilities in their daily lives, and much of that effort can go unnoticed by others. When someone takes the time to acknowledge her strengths, dedication, or thoughtful actions, it creates a feeling of being valued.